Hi, I'm Matt, here in Michigan.
And I'm Randall here in Texas. This week, Matt and I are taking a look at Top Gun, the 1986 action thriller movie. It was supposed to have a sequel that came out this year, but has obviously been pushed back. It stars Tom Cruise, Anthony Edwards, Kelly McGillis, Val Kilmer, Michael Ironside, and Tom Skerritt. It is directed by Tony Scott, who's Ridley Scott's younger brother. He is also well known for directing Domino, Man on Fire, Enemy of the State, Crimson Tide, and Days of Thunder, which also stars Tom Cruise.
In Top Gun, a U.S. Navy pilot and his best friend are selected to go to the Navy's elite fighter school for a chance to prove that they are the best of the best. Top Gun had a $15 million budget and earned more than $356 million at the box office, making it the highest earner of 1986. Now, when adjusted for inflation, that's about a $35 million budget and a box office haul of $845 million.
Marvel money!
Received mixed reviews from critics, but has been a hit with audiences. The song Take My Breath Away won an Academy Award and a Golden Globe. So, Randall, what do you think of this 1986 classic?
I think it's held up really, really well as long as you think about it in the context of the time that it came out. The practical effects, the real jets, the real filming on board U.S. aircraft carriers showing how busy it is, all of that has just held up so well. The story has always been paper thin. So there's no complaining about that. It's exactly the same paper thin plot it was when it came out in 1986. But all in all, the biggest thing for me, it's just still enjoyable. It's a fun movie to watch still.
Oh yeah, totally agreed. This movie is a classic, full of high energy testosterone. Movie for people who want to go fast.
Gotta go fast. Sonic.
But this one's Top Gun.
Oh
Excellent stuff. Even the sound design we already talked about a little bit. The music in this is awesome. Take My Breath Away won awards, but heck, I don't think you can talk about Top Gun without mentioning, Kenny Loggins' Danger Zone.
Highway to the Danger Zone.
I can't think of that song or hear that song without thinking of this movie, and it works vice versa.
Well, now that I've watched Archer, I can't think about it without thinking about Archer, actually. It does explore some really interesting topics, even if it does so wrapped up in an action machismo kind of way, all talking about masculinity. Maverick has this chip on his shoulder. He doesn't really know anything about his dad's disappearance, who was also a great fighter pilot. So every time he goes in the air, he's always flying against this ghost of his father. He doesn't have anything to really live for himself, so he can always push it. He doesn't have a mom, he doesn't have brothers, doesn't have siblings. It's just him and Goose in the back. And it says a lot about that when the only thing that he really has to live for, Goose, dies tragically midway through the film, and the effects that has on his character and on his psyche. It does that really, really well for such a, action film.
I would say the acting probably isn't the strong suit necessarily of this film. Our main character is Tom Cruise, Kelly McGillis. They do a decent enough job. Val Kilmer, he's about as frozen as his name implies, Iceman.
Which is right, though. That's the way the character's supposed to be.
Yep. I think Goose is the best character. He's the most memorable, at least for me. And I think that's where we get a lot of the feeling in this film, is actually from Goose. And you already kind of mentioned that a little bit on how Goose's death brings more into Tom Cruise's character. We don't really see too many of his feelings, Tom Cruise's character's feelings a little bit, partly because that is his character a little bit, but Goose is really that one that adds that feeling, especially when Maverick's doing stuff that basically is costing them points and everything, And Goose tells Maverick, what's at stake, keeping him grounded. Like, hey, Maverick, I got a family I got to worry about. We're trying to be like the best of the best, but I hope we just graduate. I need this kind of thing. So I think Goose definitely is that added element that makes this a better film.
Even if the acting itself isn't as good as it possibly could have been, the chemistry between the characters is still very, very good. Maverick and Goose are awesome together.
She's lost that love and feeling.
She's like, no, she hasn't.
Yes, she has.
She has not lost that love.
Goose, she's lost it, Matt. Come on.
I hate it when she does that.
And you have Val Kilmer's character Iceman with Maverick, who are just the polar opposites. Maverick is just off the hook and crazy, and Iceman is just methodical. So they obviously butt heads. And I really like the instructor's chemistry with with all of these hotshot pilots. They're the best of the best, but like here they're being brought up against Michael Ironstein's character in Jester and Tom Skerritt's character in Viper, and they're like, oh my god, like Viper's out here. They're scared of their instructors.
Right. He's probably saying, holy it's Maverick and Goose.
Yeah, I'm sure he's saying that.
All of that chemistry goes a long way to making this film stand out and making it better than the sum of its parts. And when you get to the end, it's not even that like huge of a thing. I think if you don't know anything about the Soviet Union and the US and the Cold War, if you watch this, you're sitting there like, I don't understand why this is a big deal, but because of the characters that are involved, I'm still interested in watching and seeing what happens with Iceman and Maverick.
Yeah, definitely the Soviets and stuff. It could be just like insert random bad guy pilots here kind of thing. They really just to show off the skills and stuff of these characters and why these characters that we've been watching, like this training and stuff that they do, actually matters. It's basically just to add a little bit of stakes, to the film.
And honestly, there is one ridiculously famous scene in this movie that has nothing to do with fighter pilots at all. Matt, volleyball. Beach volleyball. I only bring this up because it has nothing to do with the movie. It does not move the plot forward in any way whatsoever. It's just a scene there to show off some men with their shirts off, having fun playing volleyball. And as my wife pointed out to me as she was watching this, she goes, it's kind of nice to see this happening to men instead of women. Like here where we have all these, glory shots of hot, sexy men instead of hot, sexy women. And it's an interesting, different mechanic where, yeah, a lot of the times in film, you have pointless, doesn't do anything for the plot, hot, scantily clad women. I'm like, well, that was unnecessary. This was unnecessary, but if you look at it from not my male perspective, I'm like, yeah, okay, I can see that. And it's become super famous and parodied and talked about.
That's the thing. It just ties in that movie about, all that testosterone and stuff. This movie is a big, for lack of a better phrase or whatever, it's a dick measuring contest between different ones. And the volleyball scene just adds that. The guys are showing off, their muscles and stuff and their ability on the volleyball court to each other and stuff. And I think that kind of plays in too. The volleyball scene causes Tom Cruise's character to be late to see Kelly McGillis's character. And really, I think that just goes to show you how important that competition and everything is for Maverick's character and the other people in the flight school.
It's just amazing to me that scene's grown into its own little legacy all by itself, because it's just this fun, weird kind of added in scene right before the romantic subplot gets underway.
Well, Randall and I both really enjoy Top Gun. We want to know if you guys are big fans of Top Gun just like we are. Be sure to put it in the comments below what you think about Top Gun. If you like our review, give us a thumbs up. Also, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you can get notified about when our videos are coming out. We release new videos on YouTube every Monday and Thursday. And also be sure to check us out on Facebook. We will always post on Facebook a day before our videos come out to let you know the topic of our next video. For now, I'm Matt here in Michigan. Have a good day.
And I'm Randall here in Texas. I'll see everyone in the next one.
Next time on No Market Media. Please consider checking out some of our other videos.